Welcome to NARAL's The Morning After. Each Thursday, our podcast brings you the latest on reproductive health care, progressive politics, and the fight to keep abortion safe and legal. NARAL's The Morning After is a production of NARAL Pro-Choice Ohio. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at ProChoiceOH. Enjoy the show.
Hi, I'm Randi.
Hi, I'm Gabe.
Hi, I'm Annie.
We're a little bit loopy on this Wednesday because we've been excited partying too much following the big decision this Monday.
Yay.
Yeah. Woo.
Whole Women's Health 5-3 decision in the Supreme Court.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, 5-3 is really amazing. I'm really happy that they did that. For me, it was kind of like talking to people about it. I was just more somber in my celebration just because I realized that it's a great thing that happened, but also hearing people talk about it later, like a lot of the clinics are, they're already closed, already shut down. So it's not like this happened and okay, they're going to be open next Monday. Like that's not how this works.
Right. It was the best outcome, but it's not a magic wand, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So a lot of people still going to be a while before they can get, the healthcare that they need.
Yeah. So we got the 5-3 decision that we want. There were so many possible outcomes from this. That Whole Women's Health, the clinic in Texas, worked with their legal team and put out like this most flow chart that looked like spaghetti, where every single possibility of like it could be a 4-4 tie, but it could be a tie in this direction. Like there was possibilities on what a tie would look like, or what individual justices, what their decisions could look like, and this really was the best possible of all the outcomes that we were looking for, which I think speaks, very clearly to how unjust these abortion restrictions were, how bad the situation had gotten in Texas, and how clearly unconstitutional.
They couldn't give one piece of evidence. I'm talking about Texas. Could not give one piece of evidence where this law had made it better or easier for a woman to seek an abortion, or just had made her, healthier. They couldn't give one example of that. Whereas our side could give multiple examples of women who haven't been able to get health care. I'm like, isn't that just crazy? They couldn't give one example.
Well, I'm sure they looked.
I'm sure they did. And they still went ahead anyway and wasted all this time and money for something that, and even after later I saw Greg Abbott talking about it and saying something about, he was like, women's health and protecting innocent life. And it's like, okay, this isn't about women's health. This is about, trying to limit access to abortion.
Social
and
control.
You couldn't even stay on script. Like, come on, dude. If you're going to keep doing this, at least pretend. But
Yeah. When I was watching Rachel Maddow on Monday night, they had Amy Hagstrom Miller, who's the owner of Whole Women's Health, but then also another, an activist from Texas. And of course, I don't have her name in front of me, but she was pointing out that all of this really comes from the fact that they had a governor who was running for president and wanted to appease the religious right in his state.
That's what they do.
Yeah, and I'm like,
geez,
that's
defunded Planned. That's why they had to do it so fast here and
Right.
defund Planned Parenthood, because Casey was running for office, and now again we're in court trying to keep them funded over his failed presidential bid, because now he's back here and not doing a darn thing. Like, I mean, seriously. But that's what happens. That's crazy, because they think somehow that they're going to get more votes, but really they're not in the majority. Like, the majority of people, even if they, which I hear a lot, I heard a lot out tabling, this June, even if you wouldn't, want it for yourself. I thought a woman who came up to our table to sign put it so great. She was like, I wouldn't do it for myself, but it's not my decision.
Right.
Like, I don't understand what's so hard about that to understand.
Yeah. So Justice Breyer wrote the decision. He was joined by Kennedy, Kagan, Sotomayor, and the great Notorious RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yes.
We're going to give Justice Ginsburg the That's What She Said of the week. For her statement. She said, given those realities, it is beyond rational belief that House Bill 2 in Texas could genuinely protect the health of women, and certain that the law would simply make it more difficult for them to obtain abortions. When a state severely limits access to safe and legal procedures, women in desperate circumstances may resort to unlicensed rogue practitioner at great risk to their health and safety. So, I mean, all this time for the past, I don't know, a couple of years, we've been listening to anti-abortion people say, Gosnell, as a way to justify them restricting abortion rights. And here Ginsburg is saying, well, Gosnell is why you need to remove abortion restrictions.
Yeah.
Increase access to safe and legal practitioners.
Yeah. And it's like a lot of these practitioners, while, Planned Parenthood, I think, is sort of a mixture, but most of theirs is just about reproductive health care, not even specifically about abortion. The other clinics, while their main thing may be abortion, they also usually provide like STD testing and like cervical cancer screenings. And I just remember, watching a short video about activists down there in Rio Grande where that one clinic closed. That was the only clinic like in that Texas area.
Right.
And a woman who was an activist, like fighting back to get the clinics back open while all this is going on, she died of cervical cancer.
Right.
I mean, to think about that, that's crazy. So it's not just about, even though that's what we're fighting for, that's a big part of it. Like I said, a lot of these clinics, it's not just they're providing abortion, they're providing health care, and they didn't have it. I just thought that's so terrible and like, I don't know, darkly ironic, that she's, I mean, so I'm really happy that, like I said, again, that they voted this in place. But again, we have to keep in mind that they need a lot of help there to try to reopen all the clinics that were closed down.
Right.
I'm just sad for the Center for Choice in Toledo because it closed in 2013, and it was a really great, another great feminist abortion clinic. And Capital Care, we love Capital Care. It's a little different, though. It wasn't quite the same, and they had such a good, solid campaign for a while in 2013. And so I just hope that the same doesn't happen to Capital Care, and we can look forward to
because these kind of attacks that they did in Texas it's not apples to apples. It's kind of apples to oranges.
Sure.
They're both really rotten, rotten restrictions. And you're on the front lines of fighting this in Texas, in Toledo, not Texas.
It's the same thing.
We're a big organization, but not that big.
Very similar. I hope that it'll strike down like some of the waiting periods. And similar to things in Dayton, it's like they are dealing right now with the variants, which we've talked about here on a lot. But so we actually did get more doctors to agree to sign on, but then they couldn't sign on because they work for Primary One Health, and Primary One Health won't sign on to it. Technically, they work for them, so then they can't do it.
Right.
So right now, it's just kind of in limbo about what's going to happen. And hopefully this will help. Hopefully this will help with a lot of things, not just the variants and transfer agreements, also the waiting periods, mandatory ultrasounds, mandatory scripts of your baby has the 85% chance of survival at this point, like all that stuff that's not, necessary.
All this
especially, in places like, I know some places just recently like put for like 72-hour waiting periods. So hopefully they'll be deemed, if those states decide to, or groups in those states decide to sue, that they'll be deemed like that's really not necessary at all.
Right. Yeah. This decision, it doesn't knock down all of those restrictions automatically, but it does really open up the door for new challenges. States, thanks to, the language from Justice Ginsburg and the others, states now have to really justify, what the benefit is behind these new restrictions, which of course we know there is no benefit. So, if a law doesn't bring any benefit and it presents a burden, then it's unconstitutional.
Yeah.
And so, there is no benefit to a waiting period.
Exactly. And I've seen already that I think it was Mississippi and Alabama were like trying to go to the Supreme Court over some abortion laws in their states. And the Supreme Court said that they're not going to see them. So basically they lose.
Yeah. So, it was a variety of victories. I think the state of Washington had something similar where they were trying to, I can't even remember now.
With the pharmacist?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pharmacy
so
referral.
There was a pharmacist there who wants like religious exemption from prescribing or having to carry certain birth control and other medication. And of course, saying they're not going to see it. So they have to. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't understand how that is. You're running a business. You wanted to open a business. You're serving the public. Why is what you prescribe them that's a needed thing, that's a demand for it? I mean, I understand. I'm not saying that they don't feel strongly about it, but I just still can't understand how that's affecting your personal faith. Like, I don't understand how. And another thing, is a lot of clerks. There was another case about clerks trying to go there to say that they would be able to refuse to give, same-sex marriage license based on religious exemption. The court also said that they're not going to hear that case, so they lose.
Right.
And again, it's like you chose that as a profession. That's your job.
Right.
I don't understand how you can say that somehow you giving that license, you're personally like. I don't understand.
Well, they're making up their religion as they go along, and that's part of the problem.
Yes.
So yeah, this decision was really terrific. And like you said, the other cases that they could have taken on that they rejected also spoke to, they're not interested in hearing anyone try and justify restrictions that clearly have no justification.
Exactly.
So this gave some really nice clarity to the previous case, Planned Parenthood versus Casey, which basically said that you couldn't restrict abortion before a point of viability. Not that we agree with that ruling, but it's kind of what is for the past few decades sort of been the bar that you have to meet. And they really sort of made that point clear. So this will definitely create a path for better outcomes.
I hope so. Maybe it'll stop some people from trying to keep putting forth different restrictions, but we'll see.
I'm hoping it'll sort of make most of the abortion restrictions we've been seeing in Ohio more akin to the heartbeat bill, which was considered too extreme and too unconstitutional and not able to be touched by even some of our most right-thinking political figureheads, because it was just going to be too much of a burden for them to carry on. So I'm hoping that that's kind of the effect it'll have. Yeah.
And, Ohio didn't pass the heartbeat bill, not because our state legislative leadership loves abortion. It's because they didn't want to have to pay for a court battle just like this one that Texas went through, or for a 6-week ban like the heartbeat bill that North Dakota took all the way up to the Supreme Court and lost. Because the high court refused to hear that and let a lower court ruling of hey, this is blatantly unconstitutional. So this really shows that if Ohio wants to foot the bill for this stuff, they're going to have to pay to take it all the way up and still lose. So
but we have seen that they're still willing to do that on certain things.
Well, now that Kasich's no longer running for president, maybe, although I'm sure that he hopes the RNC will fall apart in some way that he'll be able to step in.
He come and save the day.
I think he's sitting back.
Paul Ryan hopes that too.
Oh yeah, there's. And they've been talking about opening it up.
Sorry, I just dry heaved.
They better rush in and save the day now, because what they're doing right now, which, Kasich, his time is over. He ran, he lost. Maybe he will run again, maybe he won't. He probably won't win. Paul Ryan, I know for a fact that he probably wants to run, in another 4 years, but you've already damaged yourself because you've tied yourself to Donald Trump, who is terrible. And why you did that, I don't know. So some people say he has to, but he didn't have to.
Right.
Just because he's a Speaker of the House, you don't have to then endorse someone who's obviously, has a lot of issues.
I mean, yeah, Paul Ryan's in a tough spot. But,
I understand, normally that's what you would do in politics. You fall in line, especially if you're a leader.
Yeah.
But for someone so just as I'm gonna say repulsive as Donald Trump, but honestly, that's how I feel about him. But
yeah, he's repulsive.
So I mean, I just don't. Yeah, I mean, maybe you felt like you felt like you had to do that. I don't think you had to do that, but the fact that he did do that, you've tainted yourself. You've tainted yourself, and you lost all respect.
Yeah,
because you can't sit around. You can't say out of both sides of your mouth. Again, I'm going to endorse this person. He's also racist. Like that didn't make any sense.
I'm just hanging out while the world falls apart around me.
Is that what's happening? Sometimes I feel like that is what's happening.
Yeah.
You Clevelanders. Yeah, we feel pretty good about everything right now.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's really, really crazy.
Yeah,
that reminds me of, we didn't put on here about what happened yesterday in Turkey. That was crazy.
Oh yeah. I saw my friend was marked safe abroad, and that's
good.
So I had to look it up, and
yeah. So we definitely don't need someone like Donald Trump who keeps feeding into helping. I think he does a good job helping them with their propaganda, and obviously they're doing a good job with it right now because they've just ramped up everything like more and more. So,
right.
I am worried about Cleveland.
Yeah.
But I will be leading the public in safety trainings before we go and do anything. So
that's good. The city of Cleveland just this afternoon released the new protest parade route that kind of goes from the west side and down and around.
So we're having a protest parade.
Yes, the official protest parade, which they want
to keep people moving rather than keep them standing in one place.
Yes.
You mentioned Turkey, and that there was horrible violence there just yesterday, but also recently there were these neo-Nazi fights in Oakland.
Yes.
And I'm like, I don't know that I want to be in a parade route if it's going to be lined with neo-Nazis.
That's why you're on the B team.
Yeah.
Both, the whole Columbus office is on the B team. I'm the A team. Y'all are the B team.
That means, and then if that means I don't have to
the B team picks up the A team from jail.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm totally down with that.
Yeah. The A team is you puppeteers who are going to be marching in the parade, and then us B team people will be like on call for when we have to get Annie from jail or the hospital.
It's happening. It's probably gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't know about this parade route.
No, we were just talking about this earlier, and I was talking to my friend about it yesterday after what happened in Istanbul. We're watching it, and I mentioned the RNC.
You're gonna need a helmet. I was seriously looking at gas masks online yesterday.
I mean, it's not crazy to think about just because. I mean, the RNC could be a huge target. There's going to be obviously people there who are angry on both sides. And I just, hopefully everything will go okay. But it does make me, seriously extremely nervous to be there, honestly.
Yeah. The city now has a $50 million insurance policy, and they've cordoned off areas on Lake Erie where boats can go. Like, they're worried about boat attacks. I mean... Yeah,
okay. I guess it's not that crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, it's
like cannons and stuff.
Are from Canadians.
You know what? Any other year, but 2016 is like a year unlike any other.
It's a crazy year.
Cannons on boats. You know what? I would not be shocked.
I wouldn't be shocked about anything at this point, to be honest. Yeah.
I mean, Donald Trump. I feel like yes, we're already dealing with ISIS, but I feel just like everything that's happened between him and the Brexit and everything, it's just like ramped up really negative feelings towards everyone I've seen in Britain since they voted on the Brexit. It's just been like the attacks against like immigrants and people.
right,
who
Extremism.
don't look stereotypically British,
right.
have been getting like attacked and harassed. I think they're like in a Polish neighborhood,
Even
like they
Polish
wrote on
people.
all their doors, Poles need to go home. Like,
Right.
what? Like, no.
Well, my
Whatever,
Polish
old.
cousins would make it clear that violence against the Polish people has been
It's
going on for
old
decades.
and it's been done
Yeah.
already, guys. So can we like?
yeah.
Yeah,
True.
we had the original democracy.
Well, I mean, Cleveland is a very diverse city, and it also have. I mean, you've got some very, strong and outspoken pockets of, really sort of old communities that represent a lot of different ethnicities.
Yeah.
You have a big Arabic population over on the west side. You've got a massive Jewish population over on the east side.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of black folks living downtown, and all of these divisions also have these sort of old, European, like the Slavic neighborhood, the Italian village, So, to have the threat of neo-Nazis from Oakland and, every racist asshole in between heading towards the city to try and make trouble. I was shopping for gas masks yesterday.
Pick me up one.
Yeah, I know.
I know, like, is that in
Pick
our
up your
budget,
18.
Kelly?
It's a little terrifying.
Yeah,
so
I'm
we'll
gonna make
see.
my little Lady Liberty headpiece for my stilt costume, kind of like a helmet.
You know what? That's not a bad idea.
No, it's not.
Lady Liberty with a army helmet. So
Yeah.
So speaking of parades, better parades, fun parades in different cities, Hillary Clinton, she was in a pride parade this weekend.
Yes, which is of note, and we wanted to mention it briefly because it is the first time a presidential nominee has ever appeared in a pride parade during their campaign.
Yay.
So,
and it was in New York City, and apparently Hillary was also the first lady to ever march in a pride parade, which I'm not sure might have also been New York City.
I would imagine.
But that was really cool because they had the parade. She was in it. Which I guess was just a logistical nightmare to get her in the parade for even a couple blocks.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure New York Pride is already just a logistical nightmare in itself.
Yeah. I mean, just parking for Columbus's pride parade was tough enough. I can't imagine Manhattan.
No.
At least nobody there drives,
Yeah, true.
I'm sure everybody just takes the subway, but
I mean, what else are you going to do?
And the president designated the Stonewall as an official, national monument or whatever it is.
Yeah, so it's like is it the first LGBT national monument? Okay, cool. Yeah. And so the inn and the surrounding area are now like a national monument
with actual tour guides and brochures and.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's like an official thing.
Okay.
Yeah. I think
that's cool.
I think there's park rangers or something that hang out there. And
okay,
we've assimilated now.
Yeah.
No, I think it's cool.
Yeah,
recognition is nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Hillary did that, and then she was in Cincinnati on Monday.
Yeah. So we went down to Cincinnati. There was a lot of people there. We did not go in, unfortunately. We were outside because we had to leave and go get petitions because I was not thinking.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, so it was a really great crowd. The train station was lovely, and she was there with Elizabeth Warren. Woo-hoo. They were both very excited. So now there's a lot of speculation about whether or not Elizabeth Warren's going to be her VP.
Right.
And people are like, oh, can you do an all-female ticket? I'm like, I mean, an all same gender ticket. I know it's a crazy idea.
Right.
But
I mean, when they swear you in, you put your hand on the
females.
Bible, not your penis.
Yeah.
So,
I love when, again, big ups to the Notorious RBG on when she was asked how many women should be on the Supreme Court to make it equal. And she said 9.
Right.
I'm like, yeah. When it's been, an unfair deviation since the beginning, then I don't think an all-female ticket is that crazy.
I mean, really, it's just a mathematical statement.
Yeah.
To balance it out,
Yeah.
it would take 9 for quite some time.
Just saying, people.
Yeah, but Hillary was Elizabeth Warren. So, like I said, I was watching Maddow on Monday night, and she was talking about the Supreme Court case. But the lead story was Hillary and Elizabeth Warren together in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And so Rachel Maddow was talking about the idea of what if there was a ticket, and she even said, and this is really how I feel, that putting the two of them up on stage was an amazing thing, and it really electrified the party. I mean, I don't know about the conversations you were having down in Cincinnati, but when I was at ComFest up in Columbus talking to people about it, I mean, they are excited about the idea of Elizabeth Warren.
Yeah.
And I don't hear anybody else talking about a vice presidential nominee with the same sort of energy. And so Maddow was saying that, if this is a setup to make everybody think about this and Warren isn't the pick, it's going to be a bit of a letdown.
Yeah, that's true.
That would be a bad move at this point, maybe.
Well, Hillary has said she's totally open to that. So we'll see. I don't know. I really don't know, if she would actually still go that way. But,
Well, I hope so. I mean, I think there are other VP choices.
For sure,
that that would also be good. But Warren, that would just really, I think, turn people on and really boost turnout of the Democratic base.
I think so.
So
I like her.
Yeah, me too. Are you gonna sing?
Let's get it on. Okay. We're talking about Kelly. Oh, go back and listen to Kelly on WOSU. That was All Sides with
Ann Fisher.
Ann Fisher. Okay. Yes. Go back and listen to Kelly on All Sides with Ann Fisher. She was on there this week. And also Jaime Miracle was on PBS.
Will be on PBS on Sunday.
Okay. Will be on PBS.
She filmed it on Tuesday.
Okay.
But it airs on Sunday, I think noon on most stations. It's The State of Ohio with Karen Kassler. You can also find that online on IdeaStream.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Go Bosses.
So both of them appeared opposite Ohio Right to Life's Mike Gonadakis. Yeah.
I decided to name my abortion after him.
I think that's a great idea.
But I used his nickname that we have for him.
So that's NPR and PBS. We've got all the liberal bases covered.
Exactly. So go back and listen.
Yes.
And then Annie, you want to talk about the play?
Speaking of media, so for those of us who are from the Ohio area that is northeast and in the general Cleveland or perhaps Akron area, tomorrow night we have a now discounted showing of the abortion stories from the 1 in 3 campaign that has been made into a dramatized play, which is called Remarkably Normal. It is written by Jessie Blue Gormenzo, and it is a story of 3 different women's abortions and lives surrounding those experiences. It'll be a short show, and we will have tickets available for $5. If you want to order online, you can visit www.brownpapertickets.com/event/2538412. So we'll have that link available. And then because it is now discounted, we don't have to enter in a code or anything. But what's interesting is that this money from the show, the proceeds will go to NARAL Pro-Choice Ohio. And we are doing a panel of our partners afterwards to discuss the national and local landscape of abortion. Our partners include New Voices Cleveland, and Jasmine Burnett will be representing New Voices Cleveland. She's the field director or director of community organizing. We'll also have Samara Knox, who is wonderful. She is the director of counseling services at Preterm, and she is a wonderful, compassionate human being and a very good speaker, and you can see her face on all our My Abortion, My Life billboards that we have around the Cleveland area now. And then there's also Allie Leahy from Urge, who is an organizer based out of Toledo and does some organizing in Columbus as well. And she and I have been working on the Keep Abortion Safe and Legal in Toledo campaign together. So this will be tomorrow night, Thursday, June 30th, 7 p.m. It'll be at the Obama Theater, which is in Cleveland Heights on Lee Road, 2340 Lee Road, which is in the Heights Public Library. And they have an art gallery and then the theater space as well. Dobama is wonderful at supporting local artists and local theater works. And I've been going there for a long time to see all kinds of shows. So it should be a great show. Again, tickets are only $5. You can order them online. Or I think day of.
Sure.
Yeah, probably you can get them day of. Just come a little bit before 7 p.m. tomorrow, the 30th at the Dobama Theater.
Okay. And then also in the show notes, there's a link to buy tickets. You can still get the VIP early admission to Slurricane Trump, our event with Lady Parts Justice, the night of Donald Trump's big speech in Cleveland. If you don't want to be wearing a gas mask standing in downtown, you can come to the Bohemian National Hall with us.
I hope I won't be in jail.
Me too. I'm not leaving our event to come bail you out. But yeah, this will be
for you.
Wow.
This will be in a nice, safe theater, a nice, comfortable distance away from Quicken Loans Arena.
That's what we need.
With Liz Winstead, John Fugelsang, and Frank Conniff of Mystery Science 3000. So tickets are in the show notes. Buy the VIP tickets because that gets you in early for the cocktail reception.
Cool.
Okie doke. We'll see everybody next week.
Bye.
Bye.